picking a perfect floor plan is more than just counting bedrooms. I mean, unless you love carrying loads of laundry up and down the stairs multiple times a week. So let's talk about how to pick the floor plan for you, the one that fits the flow of your family, the function of your family, and everything that you want to accomplish in that home. So I'm going to give you some tips and tricks, maybe a few hilarious stories about clients who their floor plans were not what they wanted. And if you have your own story, share it in the comment below. I would love to hear about it. So what is flow? Flow is how your home lives. It's where the layout of the home meets the functionality that you need in your home. So, does the flow of your home meet the needs of you and your family? So just to give you a few examples of good flow, is the laundry room on the same floor as the majority of the bedrooms? So if the answer is no, then you could be carting laundry baskets up and down the stairs multiple times a week because there is no laundry where all the main bedrooms are. And if that's your kids, that is a ton of laundry. So you may consider getting a home where the laundry room is upstairs, if that's where the majority of the bedrooms are, or look for this really special feature that even if the primary bedroom is downstairs, they have their own designated washer and dryer, and the upstairs bedrooms have their own designated washer and dryer. That is one of my favorite features of homes today. Another area that you might consider for flow is open spaces versus private spaces. For many years now, those open concept floor plans have been extremely popular. They are created to just allow you to really connect as a family or when you're entertaining, because everyone can see what's going on in that space. However, there has been a little lean toward having more private spaces in the home, whether that is an office where you actually have doors that you can close, or maybe a meditation room or a workout room, something that is going to give you that availability to kind of close off if you need a little bit more peace. Maybe you need a little bit more quiet, or just a space where you can dedicate your brain power by not being distracted by everything going on around you. So which of those flows better for you? So here's a few tips to look for. How do you maximize the flow in your home? The easiest way is to just think about how you use your home on a daily basis. And when you're walking through these new homes, even though the layout is different, does it accomplish what you need it to? Does it fit the lifestyle that you're trying to go for? And it's really easy to get distracted because everything seems new and better. But if you kind of keep a list of the things that are driving you crazy in your home right now, that will help you keep an eye out for the things that you don't want in your new home. Going back to the 2 laundry room situation, just consider that you are a physician here in town and you have clothes that you wear for work that you don't want washed with the rest of your family's clothing. That is where the flow of having 2 laundry rooms, one for maybe your dedicated work clothes and another for the rest of the family. That's where that comes into play. So if you do have one of these specialized careers that could be a benefit to you, consider that when you're thinking of the flow of the new home that you're looking for. And think of the long-term play when you're looking at flow, because things are going to evolve over time, right? Maybe you don't have kids yet, but you know that they're going to be added in later on. Or maybe you have a few kids, but you're not done having kids yet. How does that look when each of those children are added to the mix? Or maybe you have aging parents that you want them to move in with you at some point. Does the flow of this property work for them down the road? There are just a multitude of things to consider before you start looking to see which home is going to fit what you need the most. And then keep in mind, you may have some really great ideas right now, like, oh my gosh, I have this office, I can close these doors, it is gonna be awesome. But a few years down the line, guess whose room that is? It's not yours, it's your teenager's gaming room. So do you still have space for an office in that home? Or are you going to be out of the house and get an office somewhere else? Just some things to keep in mind when you're looking for flow. And don't forget about storage. I know it's probably the last thing that many people think of, but it's probably the first one that you should look at, because did you know some homes don't have a walk-in pantry or linen closets to put your towels and your linens and your bathroom supplies? I mean, I know this because we bought a house without a linen closet, and let me tell you, it is a pain in the neck. So make sure that you are paying attention to all of these areas, because even though right now that space feels ginormous because you have less in your home today than that bigger home that you're buying, trust me, you are going to fill up all of those little nooks and crannies with all new stuff, and you're going to run out of room. So make sure that your storage is optimized to leave you enough room for life to change. Hey there, I'm Eileen Guilbeault, your go-to real estate advisor for all things relocating to Las Vegas. If you are new to this party, make sure that you like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you are notified every single time a new video hits the airwaves. Okay, so what are some pitfalls of a bad floor plan? And I mean, I hate to tell you, but I feel like most of these pitfalls are my own. I know I'm supposed to be telling you about client ones, but these actually happened to me. So I had to buy baskets with different colors on the basket for each kid, so that as I walked through the home, I could pick up all of their individual crap that they had laying all around the house and put it into their individual baskets, so I knew who was supposed to take what basket up and down the stairs. Do you know how annoying that is? It would have been so much easier if I had thought about what that was going to look like with kids and would have bought a single-story home like I have now. But keep in mind, there are solutions. So the floor plan doesn't have to make or break, but you want to have the option to have something work for you right out of the gate. Another thing to look for is competing spaces. And what I mean by this is that if you have a two-story home that has a loft upstairs and then it kind of looks down on your living area and there's really no separation in the airspace, you're going to find that your kids are going to be playing Bluey upstairs and your husband's going to be trying to watch the football game. And those two sounds are going to compete for attention. And it can be a little bit annoying because as the volume keeps getting, ticked up on both ends, it can get pretty loud. Also in Vegas, we have a lot of shift workers who maybe work at night and sleep during the day. Do you have the right orientation for your house? So The layout or floor plan of what direction your home faces can also be a big issue, because you want to make sure that whichever way the sun is coming up or setting, if you're sleeping, you don't want to be disturbed by the sun blaring through those windows. So keep that in mind. And does this home have everything that you need? Sometimes when you're walking through homes that you have just dreamed about for so long, it's easy to get sidetracked with the shiny objects and not really look at what the necessities are that you need on a day-to-day basis. So have someone there with you that can say, oh, you know what, remember, we mentioned that you didn't want to have that laundry room upstairs away from all the bedrooms. So just keep those things in mind so that you don't just go for shiny and new. And did you know that builders usually have more than one option for the floor plan that you are looking at? If you go to a great builder, they'll show you all the options right there, usually in the sheets that they hand out. And then you can find out from them, you know, hey, I don't want this as a 3-bedroom, I want this as a 4-bedroom. What does that look like? Does it change the flow of the home? Is it something that is going to be a positive or a negative if you change that floor plan? There are also areas like maybe a bar that is modeled that you like, but are you ever going to use it? If you're not going to use it, ask that builder what that house will look like without that bar there. That way you can get a better idea of the flow of the home. So here's a pro tip. Did you know that model homeitis is a real thing? It kind of infects your brain, right, with all of the shiny, fancy objects that you see in these homes. But the reality is most people do not build their home like that, even from the builder. So the key is to think about the things that are necessities now that you want the builder to do before you move in, and then consider, is it possible for me to live through a remodel? If it is, maybe you just want to take the basics that the builder is offering that don't cost you a penny, and you want to remodel before you ever move in. Clients do that all the time. So you need the time to be able to do that in your current home so that you don't have to move out right away, but you also need the commitment that you are willing to wait. And so there are several options. You can also pick maybe some of the bigger items, like maybe the kitchen cabinets and the kitchen countertops, and you do the bathrooms at a later time. Or you have the basic flooring installed, and before you move in, you rip out all of that flooring and have what you want put in, because you're gonna have more options if you do it after the fact. But you have to determine what your threshold is for waiting, for handling vendors, and all of that. So decide up front what your threshold for pain is in this process. And make sure that you look beyond the model home. Did you know that some of the things that model homes show you, you're not even able to add at their design center? So just because they show it doesn't mean that you are going to be able to get it. But it looks like a really pretty Instagram filter, right? It is just so beautiful, and you want it exactly the way that it is there. But that is not the reality, because we use our homes in very specific ways to each individual person. So you have the opportunity to go in and make this thing your own. And it is not going to look like anyone else's, and that is the beauty of it. Okay, it's quiz time. Are you able to change the layout of a new construction home? Do you think that's true or false? The first person to answer correctly will get a personal shout out from me. So here's a real life story. It is not mine. It is one of my clients. They bought a home that they were in love with. It fit absolutely every box, right? Every box was checked. And so what happened is they moved in and they realized our boys both play 2 or 3 sports each. We have nowhere to put their equipment. We didn't even look to see if the garage was big enough to fit all their stuff for all of these activities. So what ended up happening is one of them had to park their car outside. They weren't happy about that because in the summer heat, that is definitely not ideal. And here's a pro tip. When you go to the new home office, usually you cannot get into that garage. But if you have this kind of circumstance where you really need that garage space, ask them to show it to you because that could make or break you buying that house. Another pro tip is try the best that you can to put blinders on. Try to visualize this home as one that you are going to be operating out of on a daily basis. And if you really can't do that, ask the builder if they have one that's under construction. Maybe it's almost done, where you can go see what someone else did in that home and you can see it without all the bling to see what you'll be getting however you decide to model that home. Need more Las Vegas relocation tips or just real estate advice in general? Make sure to watch one of the videos on your screen, and I will see you the next time.